T.O. Blaze.
Hey there, this is Tio bringing another Kerbal Space Program video. This will be actually, obviously, my last video for 2021. I almost didn't make a video because I don't typically make videos for holidays, but I thought, hey, celebrating the new year or orbiting around the sun is a pretty Kerbal topic, so decided to come up with something, and I think my idea is pretty interesting. So um, on the screen, you can kind of, there you go, make out what I'll be doing. I haven't done a video like this yet on my channel, so this will be a twofer. But I'm going to capture an asteroid. Now you see that yellow line represents the trajectory of the asteroid that I managed to find. And my goal is to place that asteroid in an orbit around Kerbol, which is the sun for KSP, and that orbit would match Earth's orbit. So in KSP, Kerbin is, I guess, sort of kind of the Earth of the system in that it's got water and grass, and it's where you start, and etc. But it's much smaller than Earth, and it orbits at its orbital period is much smaller. So a day on Kerbin lasts 6 hours, but a year on Kerbin I think lasts 2,556 and a half hours compared to Earth. Our year, our 365 and a quarter calendar year, lasts 8,766 hours, which is a much bigger orbital period. So in KSP, the closest to that would be Dress. So I need to match Earth's orbit. I'm going to put this rock, which I will be renaming Earth, out almost to Dress's orbit, past Duna's orbit, and close to Dress. So I landed on that orbit by going through the resonant orbit calculator. I couldn't figure out any other way to do it. So I knew I needed an orbital period of 8,766 hours. So basically selected the number of satellites. In this case, it's one. I've got one little rock. And just played with the altitude. I started off at like 10 million, 100 million. Then I got all the way up to 30 billion, 662 million, 687,550 meters. So that's the altitude I need to orbit at to have an orbital period of 8,766 hours. So didn't talk too much about the design of the vehicle. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's just a buttload of Delta V, a probe core or a pilot if you're brave, and a grabbing unit, and hopefully enough reaction wheels to stabilize yourself. One issue with grabbing asteroids is the center of mass is not apparent, so you have to grab it once. Then it allows you to scan it, I guess, and select the center of mass, and then you can re-grab it, which is what I just did on the screen. Another thing I didn't mention during the footage because I was rambling is I had a few issues with recording the footage, and you might have noticed the vehicle changed back and forth a couple times. But this was all done in my sandbox mode, and it was done mostly on the first try. I mean, obviously I did a few quick saves and reloads, but I'd never altered the vehicle design. This was all on, like, this is the first asteroid I selected, so I was really just trying to make it work because it's actually pretty late. I need to get to bed, and I want to get this video out before the end of the year. So there you see, I've actually got enough Delta V. I was very surprised to put this thing out past Dress's orbit and then to circularize. I was really worried I wouldn't be able to circularize. So one issue I had was the engines are a little too powerful to adjust my orbit precisely. So I lowered the thrust on one of the engine down to a 0.5%, and I just disabled the other two engines. So I'm really trying to feather in my apoapsis and periapsis to be exactly that 30 billion figure that I mentioned before. And it's really tough with those Wolfhound engines. They actually got a pretty decent amount of thrust. So if I were to redo this, I would definitely slap on some really small engines, or maybe even RCS, so that when it's pretty much like setting up a normal relay satellite. You really want to be able to precisely dial in that apoapsis and periapsis. My inclination is still zero, so I know that my orbital period is going to be pretty much exactly what I calculated, although I wasn't quite able to get my apoapsis and periapsis where I wanted it. Here, you'll see I'll try to get it close as possible, but again, those engines kind of limited me. So not too much left on the video. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the videos I put out this year. I definitely don't intend to stop anytime soon. I've got to throw some fresh ideas. Hope y'all have a safe and fun New Year. There you saw I got my orbit circularized and renaming to Earth, so that rock is now the Earth. So have a happy New Year's, and thank you guys for tuning in.